Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Manny here once again. Welcome back to another episode of DFS Zone, your source for daily fantasy sport lineup advice for the NFL, NBA, WNBA, and MLB. And like always, guys, I appreciate you drop a like on the video. I really, truly would appreciate it. And if you have not subscribed yet to this channel, never seen any of my videos, is your first time here, please subscribe down below and put on those notifications. This way you do not miss any of my new uploads. With that being said, today is Friday, June the 8th, 2018, a two-game slate in the WNBA. We're going to get right to it. We got Dallas at Indiana. We got Chicago at Phoenix. First things first, like always, I always say which game I think is the one to target. Both games are kind of interesting, but obviously the Dallas game versus Indiana has the most potential to be a blowout. And it's obviously more so due to a number of injuries, which we will look at in a moment. And then the Chicago-Phoenix game should be a little bit more intriguing. I think that one will be a little close. Phoenix does have the upper hand because they happen to be at home. Let's check them out. Dallas at Indiana. We have them at a point total of 163 for tonight. That's what the Vegas line I have at the moment. 163. We have Dallas favored by 6. It makes sense. Some of the team stats to put comparisons with here. Points 84.7 points per game for Dallas. Indiana's at 75, so that's a positive 9 for Dallas. So definitely it sways in their favor. Possessions, more of a faster paced team is Dallas, of course. 83.5. Indiana's at 80. That's a difference of 3.5. The pace of, of course, 83.4, positive 4 from 79 for Indiana. So definitely Indiana's going to have to slow these guys down. But that's where Indiana is not too bad. Indiana is 79 in defensive pace, so that puts them third best in the league, a positive 6 over Dallas's 85.9. So Dallas definitely moves at a faster pace. They like to take a lot more shots and quicker shots. But if Indiana can minimize that, just pretty much simply like I mentioned yesterday with the New York game, I said Connecticut had the best chance to have a blowout. If New York, because they were one of the best in defensive pace, can slow down the pace and make it more their game, which they were able to do most of the game, that's the reason why New York was in the game. And that's why they should have actually won the game. So same thing here for Indiana today. It's just going to be a tougher task, for Indiana with some of their injuries. But it's not possible. It's not impossible. So we'll see what happens. Rebounding, Dallas has the upper hand there. 38 rebounds per game to Indiana's 32.7, which is pretty much rounds off to about 33. So that's a positive 5 there, which is big. Assists, they're pretty much of a balanced team there in both categories. For both teams, 16.2 per game for Dallas, 15.8 for Indiana. Blocks is a big disparity there. Dallas has 6.8 blocks per game. They're tops in the league, while Indiana is near the bottom in 10th at 2.8. So rounding off about 3 blocks a game to about 7 blocks a game for Dallas. So definitely that is something to consider there. And when you're thinking about those blocks right away, boom, you're thinking of obviously Cambridge, Diggins Smith, and Kayla Thornton. They're probably their top 3 shot blockers on the Dallas team. That equates to those numbers. Steals 5.5 for Dallas, 6.2 a game for Indiana. So they actually have the upper hand in steals there. That's where the defense comes into play. And then percentage points per during the course of the game for 2-point shots, 50%, which is last in the league for Dallas, surprisingly, 50%. Indiana is 7th in the league at 57.6. So that's a 7% advantage. So obviously what that tells you is that they definitely utilize a lot of up close, obviously within the wings and in the posts and in the blocks as far as their points are concerned coming off their team. So 57% is pretty darn good, and that obviously will lead you to think of Mitchell, Wheeler, the two Mitchells, Wheeler, all those guards, and they have a slew of guards. Indiana. When we go over to the three-point shooting, both teams are not all that effective. They're both pretty much even there. 24.6% of their points from 3 are for Indiana and 24.8 for Dallas. So that's where we stand there as far as that. As far as the statistics are concerned, they're very important to look at because that gives you, at least it gives you a gauge of which players you may want to target. And then when you start looking at them, we're going to go over to the Dallas-Indiana game. We'll go right to the guards. Obviously, all the guards are in play here. Nobody knows, no injuries to report here between Dallas and Indiana. Obviously, on the top here is Diggins Smith. She's probably, one of the top 4 or 5 guards in the league. She's having a fantastic year so far. At 7'9", she's pretty pricey in a game that could be possibly a blowout. So again, there's nothing wrong with her. She is definitely in play. Any stud is definitely in play. It's just a matter of who they're playing against. And they're playing against Indiana. She has an advantage here. The team in general has an advantage here over Indiana. They are playing in Indiana, so hopefully Indiana will keep the game close. But this has blowout, potential. So you definitely take that in mind. Diggins Smith at 7'9", you need about 39, almost 40. And she's averaging 37. She's good for it. I go over here to the cruncher. At guard, we go to Diggins Smith. I mean, she's, she has 40 plus upside. She put a 50 spot in the last game, 10 of 16. She shot beautifully, 37 minutes, 34% usage rate there. She was very much involved with the offense. 5 total rebounds, 7 assists. She did have 5 big turnovers, which obviously hurts us with fantasy points. We don't want to see that in a player, period. 3 steals, 1 block. Got into a little bit of foul trouble, but didn't foul out. 27, straight up points is pretty darn good for Diggins Smith. She is definitely in play. She's going to be one of the top studs here tonight, and she's definitely one of the top studs here in the in this game as well. So 7,009 again. She's tops in points, assists, and blocks. 3-point percentage. She's shooting 48% from 3. I mean, she's just she's a baller, man. That's it, plain and simple. Counterpart here, Kelsey Mitchell. She's in play, young rookie. She's the 2nd overall pick, which I've discussed before. Right now, she's averaging 18.3 points per game. She's in the top 10. Top 10 for a rookie in scoring right now. 5.7K. You need about 26, 27, and she's averaging 23, so it's pretty close. She's probably just a little priced a little higher. Maybe she could be $300 or $400 cheaper. But so far from what I've seen from her, and I've seen her in college, which I've said before, I mean, she's a ball player. She deserved to be the 2nd round pick, and she's a 2nd round pick for a reason. So she's definitely in play here today. And if I wanted to play in this game, if I wanted to take a guard, my advice is you take a Kelsey Mitchell. You can go with Diggins Smith. She may ball her butt off and put up a 40 spot for you, but you're paying $2,200 more. All right, $2,200 more. So it's entirely up to you if you want to do that. Tiffany Mitchell here at 5,100. You need 24, 25 from her, and she's averaging 19. She's in steals category. I looked it up last night. She's in steals. She gets about 2 steals a game. Pretty much that's about it. But I would rather pay for Tiffany. What I like is that she played 31 minutes in the last game and 33 2 games back. So she's getting some massive minutes, and as you can see, close to almost a fantasy point per minute, which I really like, and at least in one game. But she's getting sufficient minutes. I mean, I still like Kelsey more in this particular game, and I even like Erica Wheeler maybe a little more than her for 5,100 at the same price. So Tiffany Mitchell's in play if you're looking for someone who's going to defend and probably get a couple of steals for you, because steals are fantasy points, guys. I mean, that's what we want to see. But we want to see more of an upside. We want to see that she's able to get a couple of rebounds and assists, and be able to score some points. So this is where I think Erica Wheeler is a better play. Erica Wheeler is in play for me today. I really like her here at 5,100. She's tops in assists. She's one of the top in the top 20 actually in assists, 4.8 assists per game. She's pulling in. Look at these numbers in the last 8 days. Over here, she had 18 minutes and put up 28, and then 31 and 29. I can live with that. I can live with that. At 5,100, you need 25, like I said, and she's averaging 20.7. So I like her here. The matchup is is between her and Mitchell to come off and keep this game close for Indiana. It's going to come. If Indiana's going to stay in this game, let's put it this way, it's got to be that Mitchell, and Wheeler are all playing well. And maybe even Victoria Vivian's if she gets a little bit of time, if she gets more time. But I think between Mitchell and Wheeler and Tiffany Mitchell, they'll be okay. If the game gets out of hand, then you could see some Victoria, come in. And then you have some, obviously, value plays there with Kayla for Dallas and Alicia Gray. Christmas Kelly, she's tops in 3-point shooting, 44%. She's also in rebounds, 5.5 rebounds a game. She didn't have a great game the last game out against Seattle, but she played well against New York. 29, 12, 5, and 3, 21 fantasy points. 34 minutes with Atlanta, 6, 7, 4, 2, 2. Beautiful numbers. 31 fantasy points. I think she has about a good 30-point upside. She does. She had a 31 spot here, 3 games back, and in the 125 against Atlanta. So, I mean, you know, she's in play. Do I like her more than the other girls? Not quite. I like Wheeler and I like Mitchell more here, and I love Diggins Smith here. But my only fear with Diggins Smith, I will see after. Remember, I'm taking a look at this now. This is not set in stone, but Diggins Smith is a stud, and she's the top stud here in this game. So, I mean, if you want to take her and you want to load up on her, you can. My job is to give you the best possible advice and insight and let you know that there's a possibility that you can work around that, not have Diggins Smith as one of your top studs in your guards because you only have 3 slots. You can actually go with a Kelsey Mitchell here in this particular game, or an Erica Wheeler. You'll save some money and you'll be able to pay up a little bit, maybe on a forward or center down below. You know, so you find value somewhere else. All right. Victoria Vivians, another rookie. Okay, she was the 8th overall pick. We have here 3,700. You need about 17. She's putting in about 10. Let's look at the minutes. The minutes have gone up. She didn't put up enough points in the last game, so it's a little concern. But today, she may get 20 plus again, and she may get 20 plus in fantasy points. So, to me, she is a value play here today. She is a value play at 3,700, just as well as Alicia Gray. They're the only ones I think here in this game you can consider at that lower price. I think that they'll be okay at that price. 3,500 for Ms. Gray. You need about 14 or 15, and she's averaging 14.5 already. And look at that, 30 minutes, 23 here, 20 here. So if she gets 20 plus minutes, it wouldn't be too bad, especially if she can come off and get some scoring. Now, it looks like she scores more than she does anything else. In this game here, a little bit more balance. I like to see the scoring and the rebounding. If she can do that, she'll definitely help this team. But Dallas, remember, she's even a better play, especially if this game gets out of hand. So I like her more if the game is a little bit out of hand, and that's the chance you have to take. So it's either you want to save 3,500 or not. Play her and pay only 3,500. Victoria Vivians may have a better opportunity here simply because even if the game is fairly close, I think she's going to still get 15 to 20 minutes, maybe even more. All right? If we're going to go to the forwards, and this is where things get a little dicey. Liz Cambage has been just tearing it up. You know, she's playing really, really great basketball. She's tops in points, rebounds, and blocks. She's averaging about 3 blocks a game and field goal percentage 55.7 from the floor. For one of the bigs, she's doing fantastic. She's been taking advantage of the minutes and the time on the floor because Glory Johnson has been out. But Glory Johnson is probable today, so chances are she will play today. The whole idea is how many minutes she's going to play. I think they're going to bring her in slowly, which with anybody who has a leg injury. So I expect only to play maybe 15 minutes, and that's my guess. I would say 15 roughly, and then maybe those minutes will increase down the line as the games progress. So Cambage is definitely still in play, 8,300 in this game. I mean, she should dominate, and this is what makes it scary here with Diggins Smith and Cambage, that this game could get out of hand. So Cambage is in play. She's 42. She's put up 42, averaging 42. Sorry, 8,300. You need about 41, 42. So she's pretty much at about value. If she stays in that range, and she had a 50 spot, so we know she can get to 50. She had a 40 spot pretty much here, 38 here, 42, 46, 39. I mean, she's really been dominating. Not only scoring, but the rebounding has been like, I mean, this was a down day for her against Seattle, but that's okay because she was dealing with Breanna Stewart. But against New York with Tina, she was battling with Tina. She put 16 up, 14 here, 12 here, 9, 9. I mean, she's doing very well. And what I like about her, she's putting the stats up. She's got assists, and she blocks shots, 4, 3, 4, 2. She's averaging at least 2 to 3 block shots a game. So, I mean, man, I love her here. I'm just fearful of the blowout situation. I think I'd rather get a center or a big from the Chicago Phoenix, but that's just me. because I think that game is going to be a little more competitive. So we go down the list here. Kayla Thornton in play, 5,800. I don't know how much work she's going to be able to do here. I mean, because if Glory gets in some work, then obviously she's going to get less minutes. Somebody's going to get less minutes, and I would think Liz, because she's just doing so well right now, I don't think her minutes are going to shrink. I think they'll rather load up with Glory and with Liz up front if they can in some points of the game. So I would say the minutes would be a little bit lower on Kayla, and that's just my thinking as far as what the coach may be doing. As you can see, there's one injury here for Indiana. It's a big one. Candace Dupree is not playing. She has a knee issue, so she's definitely out of this game. And that puts all the burden on Natalie here, Achonwa. And I like Natalie here. At 3,900, she is cheap. 3,900, she's definitely in play for me, and I will put her in one of my lineups somewhere because she's going to need to step up. She's going to need to battle Glory and Liz, and she's going to have to do what she can to keep Indiana up front, in this game. So Natalie Achonwa is in play. Natalie is at, 3,900? You need 19, and she's averaging 19. She's averaging 19. Let's take a look at her over here. Natalie. She's capable of getting up to about 30. She got 21, 11 minutes. That's going to change. She's definitely going to have to play more than 20 minutes today. 2 of 4, she's going to need to take more shots. She's going to need to today. She's going to need to get under the boards, battle, and hopefully get on the foul line, where she's not a bad free throw shooter. 4 of 6 in the last game and 2 of 2 back here. 4 of 4. So she's shooting from the free throw line very well. Rebounds 5, 2 of them offensive, which is great. So she's getting about 2 a game. She's passing the ball 2, 1, 3, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 block. She's doing fine. She's going to need to step up, stay out of foul trouble, and make things happen today to keep Indiana close. It's the only way. All right, so I like her there at 3,900. I think she's fairly cheap. I think she'll definitely crush value. Azura Stevens is in play, especially if this game gets a little bit out of hand. But she will get some minutes. She's gotten 17 and 19, 16, pretty much from 16 and 19 over the last few games. And she's making the best of it. 7, 5, 1, and 1 here. 17.5 fantasy points. She pretty much did a little bit of everything. And that's what you want to see from her. I mean, she was the 6th overall pick. She's a first-round draft pick. Now, her price hasn't come up yet, but I mean, if she continues to get those 17 to 18, 19 minutes, and she's able to get a fantasy point per minute, you'll see that she'll get more time on the floor. Some sneaky plays down here, and they're part of my value plays, which I'll share later. Kayla Alexandra and Stephanie Mavonga are definitely in play here. These girls and Erica McCall for Indiana, simply because they got nobody up front other than Natalie, and Natalie's not going to be able to do it all. So one of these girls is going to get some time on the floor today. Erica McCall had the most time the last time, so I am favoring her. She had 18 minutes against New York and 16 against Connecticut, and she did fairly well. 2 points, 3 rebounds, 1 block, 1 steal. I could take those numbers. You just give me a couple more points. She should be able to break value. You need about at least 12 from her here, and she's averaging 8, and she put up 14 and 11 in the last game, which is pretty much around 12. So she's priced just right. Just give her some more time on the floor. Maybe she'll produce 1 fantasy point per minute, give you 20 minutes, give you 20 fantasy points. I'll take that. Erica McCall is in play. I like her the best out of Alexandra and Mavonga. Mavonga is a 2nd-round draft pick, and she played 4 minutes in the last game, 15 the game before that, and she put pretty much almost 1 fantasy point per minute, which is pretty darn good. If she can get, and that comes to show you that, a little bit of time on the floor, you never know. Now, different matchup, but Connecticut is a fairly good team, and they did that, so she should be able to do well against Dallas here. All right, so those are the plays there. Let's go over to game 2. In the next game here, we got Chicago visiting Phoenix, and the line here is a 165 total. They got Phoenix favored by 8.5, and that's understandable. They're at home. I think that spread is okay. I think it could be a little bit tighter if you wanted to play straight up. Let's dive in a little bit deeper on the teams here. Chicago 80 points per game, Phoenix 83. That's just a positive 2.5, 3. Excuse me. Possessions, Chicago, fairly good there. That means they move. Their pace is pretty good. 83.5, they are +4 there, while Phoenix is a 79. Pace, again, 81, almost at 82 spot for Chicago. Phoenix at 79, so that's a +3. Offensive pace, pretty much almost equal, 78 and 79 respectively. And then on defense is when it gets a little bit tight. Defensively, Phoenix 85.3. 85.3 on defensive pace. They're allowing teams to put up too many points on them. Phoenix 78.5. That's an advantage of 7 points. It's big. That's the biggest star I have next to that stat. That comes to show me that Phoenix's defense is a little bit better in the defensive pace. They slow things down. They cramp up on defense. And it shows because the next couple of stats you see here, blocks, they are tops over Chicago, 5.3 blocks per game to 4, and steals, 6.7, almost 7 steals a game to Chicago's 5. So that's a difference there of 2 or 3 points per stat. So automatically that's telling me that, yeah, that defensive pace is a favor to Phoenix after all. PPF2s, okay, percentage points from 2-point, Chicago 58%, Phoenix 54%, so that means they definitely get a lot of 2-point shots off, and they do fairly well at 58% for Chicago. That's what's going to keep them close in this game. That's a 4% advantage, which is slightly, you know, it's not that large of a gap, but it is, and depending on who's shooting the ball. PPF threes, you got 20.5% for Chicago, and Phoenix is at 25.3. That's an advantage by 5. That tells me that, you know, if I want to target anybody as three-pointers, we definitely know that Phoenix has the better three-point shooters. And then automatically that tells me, hey, you know what? I got to think of Brianna January and Diana Taurasi. They're the best three-pointers there. When I think about the inside game, I'm thinking, you know, Griner and Taurasi again and Bonner. You know, so we know who to target when we start seeing some of these stats. So this is the reason why I share that with you, because that's what I go through to make a decision personally for my own games. And like I said before, you could do all this, and trust me, I spend quite a bit of time like looking over this to make sure, because I'm trying to win money every night. All right, I'm trying to win, you know, GPPs and cash games. So, you know, you definitely should do a little bit of homework, or, you know, or at least listen to someone like myself. And there are plenty of others out there that you can take information from as well, because I respect everybody. And that's what we do. That's what myself and a bunch of others are doing, is just trying to share with you guys the time we spend doing the research and what we've done as fantasy players over the years that we think can help those out there that are new to fantasy sports and that don't really have the time. More importantly, there's a lot of us that don't have the time. I have several, like 3 or 4 hours break between work that I can, you know, relax here and take over and look over stuff, and of course spend a little time at night if I feel up to it, or if I'm not too tired, I can do the research. So this is the reason why. So, you know, take advantage of those that, you know, are able to do it. I'm not BSing you. I'm giving you statistics that you can find yourself. It's just a matter of, do people want to do it, or they want to spend the time when they can listen to someone like myself or someone else for 20, 25 minutes or 30 minutes and be able to get a lot of insight and a lot of information that may help them make more quality lineups and give themselves the best chance to possibly win some money every single night. That's the only thing. So, I mean, and I'm out there trying to do the same thing. Trust me, I'm doing these stats, and I'm trying to help my own self as well. Not only to help those out there, but also, you know, I want to make some dough too. Okay, so that's what it all comes down to. All right. So that's where we stand with the team stats. Now let's move on to some of the players, man. Let's get to the game. We got Dewana Bonner, man. She has been balling her butt off. 7,800. She's tops in points, rebounds. Rebounds, she's averaging almost 6 rebounds per game. Okay, 16.9 points per game, 5.8 rebounds per game. She's getting 2 steals per game and a block and a half per game. Her field goal percentage is 47%. She's just playing really, really well right now, and it's showing on her price as she's the top dog here today in this particular matchup. 7,800. Her price is getting a little hefty. That's 30, 38, 37, 38 you need from her. She's averaging close to 35. Can she get there? Absolutely. Absolutely. DeWanna Bonner has 50-point upside, 41, 37, 42. She had a 52 spot here. Okay. She's capable of it. She does a little bit of everything. Look at the field goals. 5 of 10, 6 of 12, 11 of 19 in the last few games. She is an integral part of the offense, very important piece. 3 of 6 from 3, 2 of 6, 1 of 6, 3 of 7. Look at the free throws. She gets on the line. She shoots from 3. She hits from the freaking floor. She rebounds. She passes the ball. She steals. She gets a block here and there. She's more of a stealer. That means, and that's telling me that she plays and she's defending. And you want players like that because they fill up your stat sheet. So DeWanna Bonner is in play. I think that she's going to be able to ball out here and do just fine. You want a little piece of DeWanna Bonner? Definitely at 7,800. I think she's fair game. Diana Taurasi, her backcourt mate, has been playing excellent ball as well. Taurasi is up in points, assists, free throw percentage. She is 96%, third in the league, and she's 38% from three-point range, and she will only get better because she's usually a 40% or better shooter from there. So Diana Taurasi is definitely in play. She's 7,400. You need about 36 from her. Yeah, you need about 36, 37, and she's averaging 29. So she's, she should be priced maybe more like 6,900 or 7,000, but will be a little bit better. So she's a little pricey. I'd rather pay up and pay for Bonner here, if you ask me, over Taurasi. But I like the Taurasi. These two girls can shoot the rock from three-point range. I really like that, as we saw in that 25% percentage as far as from 3 points that they get points from. So I like that. Courtney Vandersloot, I don't know, she's in play. They need her to play well today, especially if Allie's still out. Now, it says here out. I don't know exactly what's the status. I haven't read anything since she's been out. She's been out with this hip injury since the day that first listed it. So you just got to stay on top of that. At the moment, I would think she's definitely out. So you definitely have only Courtney, and then you're going to go down to the rookies, which I really love on this team. These rookies, these girls can play. The Shields and Williams. I like them more so today than I like Vandersloot against Bonner. They're just quicker. They do a lot of different things that can definitely help the team. So, but Vandersloot here, 6,800. You need about 34, almost 35, 34, and she's at 29. I'd rather save the $400. I'd rather pay $1,000 more and have Bonner as one of my guards, and then go and get some value somewhere else, like over here with Kelsey or Tiffany or Erica Wheeler at the 5,000 spot, or just bumping myself up to, or taking even a Gabby Williams at 4,600. I think there's value, and even Brianna January, which we're going to get to. We're going to jump right down to Diamond DeShields. I definitely love Diamond DeShields here. Diamond DeShields was the 3rd overall pick in the draft, and 5,800. You need about 27, 28 from her, and she's averaging 25, almost 20, pretty much 26. Look at the numbers here in the last game: 34 minutes, 25 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. Granted, she was playing against Vegas, but nonetheless, she put up a 24 spot against Connecticut and a 27 spot against Seattle. That means something. Seattle and Connecticut are 2 of the top maybe 3 or 4 teams in the league thus far this year. So she has played against some good opposition and done well, and she's going to play against some good, some decent opposition today with Bonner and Taurasi. So I definitely look forward to seeing how well she plays here. She's in play. I think she can definitely get there. Gabby Williams is another one that's doing very well right now. Gabby Williams is 4th overall pick, and she is right now in steals. She's got 2 steals per game. Okay, well, she only has that 2 games here. Yeah, she's averaging 2 steals per game at the moment, and 4, almost 5 rebounds a game. And there goes the rebounds. 10. That last game really helped her out, so that's what brought up her average. 10, 5, 2, 4, 2, and 6. The numbers are nice. 32 and 32. Again, that was against Vegas. She did against Connecticut 20, which is not too shabby at all. She put some decent numbers. Look at these numbers: 6, 5, 4, and 2 steals. She had the big 4 turnovers. If not, this would have been 24 fantasy points. We don't want to see that as fantasy players. We want to minimize turnovers. We want those players that don't turn over the ball that well. So, but she's a rookie. She's young. She'll get better as we go. We'll look a little bit further over here at her. Yeah. Gabby Williams. playing against the 7th defense against guards in the league, which is not, that's like, you know, a little bit past the midway point of the teams in the league. 32 and 20. Yeah, I like it. You know, 32 minutes, 2 of 8, 10 rebounds, 9 of them defensive. I would like to see a little bit more offensive rebounds, but 10 rebounds is outstanding. 2 assists, 2 steals. She actually had 2 blocks in that game too. I mean, man. Yeah, I mean, I like these 2 girls here today. And as you can see, I have a 2 thumbs up on Diamond, and I have a thumbs up on Gabby. I really like those 2 girls, so definitely those girls are in play. I also like Brianna January in this game. 3,700 for Brianna January. She is tops in assists. She has 4 per game, and she's tops in free throw shooting at 87%, and she's tops in 3-point shooting. She's like 3rd or 4th in the league right now, shooting 61% from 3-point range. And she's at 3,700. 30 minutes. She played a very bad game in the last game. I didn't even remember knowing that. Actually, didn't even know she only got a 5.4 in this game. She's playing the minutes. 32 here, 6, 3, 5, and 1, 18. Yeah, she's not putting big, huge minutes. I like the fact that she can shoot the 3-pointer. I think she's facing a team in Chicago that they don't defend the 3 that well. So this is a good spot for her. At 3,700, I mean, I would not be at all hesitant to take a stab at her at 3,700. I think this, you know, if you want to save some money, why not? Obviously, the best play here is Bonner, and then I really like DeShields and Gabby Williams. Other than that, you know, if you don't want to pay for Bonner, definitely you pay for Taurasi. You get one of the Phoenix girls, that's for sure, in this matchup. If you're going to target girls in this matchup, it's either Bonner or Taurasi, and then you come down, you grab a DeShields or Gabby Williams or both. And then you can also sneak in there, if you don't want DeShields or Williams, then you get a January. Another one is up there, you know, is Faulkner. Faulkner's is up in assists. She got 4.5 assists a game, and she's also shooting almost 39% from 3 as well. And she's actually, her numbers probably even better. It's 3,500, you need about 15, and she's averaging 15. Let's see the minutes. The minutes are good, over 20 minutes per game. 22 here, only got 9. 22 here, got 24. That's more than 1 point a minute. Here she had another downer, 21 minutes, only 8.5. Over here she had 33. She put up 23. 23 here. So she's up and down. So every other game she has a bad game. She's had 2 games where she's had good minutes and didn't produce a whole lot. She definitely needs to defend a little bit more. More blocks and steals I would love to see. Make a strong effort here. Too much with the fouls here as well. So maybe not, you know, I don't know. At 3,500, you could take a stab at her if you want to save some money. I think this is a decent matchup for her against Phoenix for that to happen. Let's go over to the forwards. Brittany Griner obviously is in play, 8,300. I mean, she's a beast, you know. She's averaging 21 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 2.5 blocks a game, and her field goal percentage from the floor is 56%. So don't let her get too close. She will score. Okay, she will score. That's for certain. At 8,003, you need 41, yeah, about 41, and she's averaging 37, so she is still a little pricey. She could be more like 81 or 8,000, and that'll be a little bit better, a little closer. But she has 50-point upside. I don't know if she's hit 50 this year. She's gone close. 47, 43. Yeah, she did get 54 here in Game 2 against Seattle, and that was against Brianna Stewart. She got up for that one. 43 spot against Tina Charles with New York the other, and then she had this massive one here with Minnesota with Foles. So she, you know, she gets up for the big girls. She gets up for the big games. Here she's definitely not in the great. I mean, she's in the matchup where it's to her advantage. Cheyenne Parker has been doing fairly well for the Chicago team. I mean, she is in points, 11 points per game, and she's also tops in rebounds with 7.3 rebounds per game. And she's shooting fairly well from the floor as well at 53%. She's at 5,500. You need 27 or so from her, and she's averaging pretty much 25. Let's take a look over here. She's facing the 5th-ranked defensive team, so pretty respectable team in Phoenix. 48 spot in the last game, 22-28. So she's had 3 values, three times she's hit value. Probably the most biggest offensive game, and that was against Vegas, obviously. 9 of 15. She shot 15 times the rock. She didn't do that, nothing near that in the games prior to that. But she's gonna need to. She's gonna need to take shots, man. I mean, she just has to because there's nobody there, up front. She has no Stephanie, who's really the one who should be up there. Dawson should be up there against Griner, and she doesn't have her. So she's gonna have to step up, and then she's got to deal with Little. Little's not no slouch. 55, and that next year I got Little. So Parker is in play. My only concern is that Griner is just a little too superior for her. So I mean, if I'm anybody and I'm interested in anybody in this game, I'd rather pay up for Griner. I think the game is going to still fairly be close, even with Griner. So I'm in favor of even taking her, even myself, and throwing her in my lineup. I don't see no reason why not. Then we come down here. We got Sancho Little. Definitely like Sancho Little here. 4,500. She's at a good price. She's tops in rebounds. She's 5 rebounds per game. And she's also in steals in the top 10 with nearly 2 steals a game. Okay, pretty much. And you can see that here. Last game against New York, 6-5, 3 assists, 1 block, 3 steals, 28 fantasy points, almost a fantasy point per minute. Over here, 20 minutes, 7, 3, and 3. Almost another game where she hit 1 point fantasy points per minute. So she's definitely in play for me in this matchup against Chicago. Sancho Little, definitely in play, guys. 4,500, like I said. You need about 22 from her, and she is averaging 21. So I think that's fair. I think the price is fair, and I think she's in a good matchup here to do that. A good matchup. Elena Coates, 3,100. She is not getting enough time here. She started off like getting time. I don't know what happened. She has not been playing as much, but I would think today she's going to have to play. I mean, there's still no Dawson. I don't know who. Let's see who's getting the minutes. Oh, the minutes are coming from Astor. Yeah, Astor Nador. Nador is the one who's getting the minutes. 10 and 22. Oh, she only got 10 in the last game. That is so bizarre. Who's actually playing out there for these guys? It beats the hell out of me. Coates is getting very minimal time. Cheyenne Parker is not playing the entire game. Hopefully Dawson will come back soon. This team definitely is the best part of this team of Chicago is their backcourt. That's pretty much where it stands. Well, that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit. I'm going to give you some good FPPM plays, and that stands for fantasy points per minute. When you think of the guards, if you're thinking guards, Bonner is going to average 1.7 fantasy points more than likely today. So she's definitely a good play. Diggins Smith is at slightly under a point at 0.99. DeShields at 0.99. Vandersloot, if you're interested in her, 0.94. Taurasi, 0.91. And Mitchell at 0.88. Those are my favorite FPPM plays. Okay, so definitely consider any one of those girls. As I already said, I really like Bonner. I think DeShields is a fine play today for sure in my lineups. And I will not sway myself away from Taurasi or Kelsey Mitchell. So definitely consider them. Maybe out of this list I just shared with you, I'm not too high on Diggins Smith, simply because I think the game may be a blowout, but she is definitely in play, almost a 1 fantasy point per minute. You can't go wrong. In the forwards, the best possible FPPM plays are Cambridge, 1.39 fantasy points per minute, so that could be very dangerous and very deadly. That'll be great for us fantasy players if she can do that tonight. You got Griner at 1.15. I kind of like the Griner situation better because I think Chicago is going to at least somehow stay close. Whereas, I don't know, something tells me that Indiana is not going to be able to do that, in the game against Dallas, It's going to be tough. All right. Next one in play, Johnson. Okay, 0.95. You got Cheyenne Parker at 0.94 and Natalie Achonwa at 0.80. Those are my favorite FPPM plays for forward centers tonight. All right, that's pretty much it. Value plays. That's a couple value plays I'm going to try to throw. I'm trying to do that in a segment now. I'll give you the value plays at the end. The value plays at guard for me today. The top ones are Alicia Gray at 3,500. I think she's going to be a fine play there if you wanted to go cheap. I like Brianne January at 3.7K, and I like Miss Faulkner at 3.5K. I think those are the 3 best value plays for guard. And then value plays, the best value plays at forward for me are Sancho Little, 4,500. I think she's going to have a, at least a 20 spot or better. Achonwa, I think Natalie's in a good spot, 3,900. I think that's a pretty good price on her too. Azura Stevens, the rookie, I think she's going to have a nice game at 3,700, especially if she gets more than enough minutes. And then you got then I got those sleeper forwards, McCall and Alexander for Indiana. Somebody's going to have to step up over there. So McCall got the most minutes the last 2 games. Maybe she's the one who's going to help out. But at 3,100 for her and 3,200 respectively for Alexander, I think those girls are going to get, I believe they're going to get at least 15 or more minutes today. And I got a feeling they're going to be able to hit value and crush it. So, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much it. So again, guys, man, good luck tonight. Drop a like on the video, man. Comment down below anything you want to comment. You want to discuss anything regarding one of the lineups or anything any case may be, whatever the case may be, you can. Please share the video with those. Let people know that I'm out there and I'm trying to help them out with fantasy lineups, with advice. I'm not going to give you lineups. I'm not going to be selling you lineups. I'm not going to be doing stuff like that. I'm basically just going to give you advice and insight on the games, and you take it from there. Now, I will not say that down the line I may not consider that, but when I do, if I do, I will definitely share that with my audience in one of the videos and say that I have some lineups that I'll be selling or so on and so forth. Right now, at the moment, it's just free advice. You take it, you do what you want with it, and take it from there. Hopefully, it's enough for you guys to be excited about and to be able to, help you guys out with lineups. All right? If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so down below. I appreciate all of those who have subscribed, all those individuals that have at least watched videos, even though if it's only 9 or 10 minutes. I know my videos are kind of long, but if you give it time and you listen to it, even if you listen to it partly throughout the day, to make decisions, you'll be able to get, I think you'll be able to get enough value out of it that will help you, especially if you're taking notes and stuff like that. So that's what I advise on it. But again, drop a like on the video. I appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Share the video with those that are starting up in DFS, interested in WNBA. And basically that's it, man. Enjoy making those lineups, make some money, and your boy Manny is out.